Hello everyone and welcome to Make Believe, where we're playing the house in Fata Morgana. Last time we finished the Era of the Beast with Yukimasa just going on a rampage, and we started the Era of Innovation following Jacopo and his wife, the silver-haired woman, as he invests on the transcontinental train. So I believe now we're gonna go follow her and see what's going on here. Oh yeah, I forgot this music. Very jazzy. Looking down dejectedly at the undrunken tea, the white-haired girl walked alone the corridor. Though its calming scent filled the air, there was nobody around to have the heart warmed by it. Nor was there anyone to alleviate her loneliness. Despite being the master's wife, the maids who crossed her path in the hall said nary a word to her. She's basically a wife by name, but less than a maid? Oh, I did not remember this lyrics though. Okay. Okay. As a matter of fact... Oh dear, I beg your pardon, madam. It's fine. Is it this maid? One even bumped into her, stifling a laugh as she trotted off. Oh no! Wow, the maids are rude to her. In all likelihood, she had done it intentionally. The poor white-haired girl, who had fallen to the floor, stared helplessly at the broken cups. Oof. Like, her life just keeps getting worse in each iteration, huh? The tea she had made for her husband was forming a stain in the carpet. The maid's behavior towards the mistress of the house was absolutely unacceptable. Nonetheless, it was commonplace, all because of the way Jacopo treated her. The more the men of the house acted cruel to her, the less weight her position as his wife held to the servants. Day in and day out, the maids worked easily, offered little opportunity for leisure, so they would naturally have accumulated quite a bit of stress, and she became the target for them to let off this steam. Not directly, but through a more subdued kind of harassment from the shadows. She must have felt quite miserable, in fact. I imagine she would have been better off as one of the maids, right? On the surface, and in front of others, they showed respect for her as Jacopo's bride, while behind closed doors, they acted very much the opposite. This disparity between the treatment she received around others, the treatment she was supposed to receive at all times, and the way she was actually treated made the abuse that much worse. And furthermore, as you have seen through the other doors, Master, she was a very reserved young woman. She could neither raise her voice in reprimand, nor raise her hand in retaliation. Oh yeah, she's very passive. Have to get this cleaned up. She extended her spindly fingers toward the shards of shattered porcelain. But even the broken cup seemed to have no concern to spare for her. Its shattered edge cut her fingertip when she made to pick it up. A trickle of warm, red blood ran across her unearthly white skin. As painful a sight as it was, it had sort of taboo beauty to it, I should say. The blood spilling from her fingers showed no sign of slowing down. She clenched her hand into a fist, let out a sigh, and went back to collecting the shards of porcelain. But when she did... Madam? Madam? What's the matter? Madam, you're bleeding. While all the other maids ignored her, one came running over, shouting to the white-haired girl's side. Oh, I'll say, I see. We have at least one ally here. We need to get clean up and bandage it up. Oh, and you don't need to pick that up. That's not your job, madam. It's alright, Maria. There's not much to pick up anyways. It is not. At all. Alright. And the rest of you? Why are you just standing there? Your boss's wife is on her hands and knees, and you're not even lifting a finger to help her? You disgust me. Mia, it's fine, really. Oh, madam. If you weren't so timid, this wouldn't happen. You're allowed to yell at them, you know. It's alright, really. My fault anyways. Anyway, we should get that finger taken care of. Let's get you back to your room, okay? The broken cups and the spill. As I said, that's the maid's work. Now, come on, let's go. Okay. And the rest of you, get this mess cleaned up. He roared like the wind in a thunderstorm. The other maids stood there dumbfounded, watching as she and the white-haired girl disappeared down the hall. Nice to see at least she has one person on her side. And I'm really enjoying this music here. But they were soon frowning and grumbling to one another. She thinks she can act all high and mighty just because the master is fond of her. Oh, I see what's going on here. The woman's name was Maria. She was one of the maids, if you couldn't tell. And she was the one person to mention the white-haired girl could think of as an ally. No, her husband paid her no mind, and the maids made her life miserable. Just one person, Maria, treated her with respect and kindness. And I'm sure you can readily imagine just how much of a lifesaver that was for her. Oh yeah, for sure. I too found myself somewhat relieved that Maria was there for her. Wait, aren't you not one of the maids in this house right now? Being a servant of this house, I was also one of the maids working there at that time. You know what? I should have just read the line right in front of me instead of questioning it. However, I was unable to involve myself to any great degree in her fate. This means that there was little I could do to assist her, even in times of pain and unpleasantness. The best I could do was pray that Maria would continue to lend the white-haired girl her hand. And that does it. Thank you, Maria. You're always such a big help. Oh no need to thank me. I just did what any good maid should do. You heard that, girls? No one else is in the room, you know. Oh, right. Then I can drop the act? Man, I just can't get used to talking all stuffy. I'm out there doing my best, but the head's me still spouting like, your manner of speaking's in Papa for a servant. Every single time we meet. Yeesh, come on, just shove it, would you? You're a damn creep. Now, you mustn't speak of her like that. Sorry, slip of the old tongue. You just kinda gives me the willies, you know? Speaking of, you jot that stuffy talk too, madam. Kinda awkward if only one of us is being casual, you know? This is normal for me. If I attempted to talk like you, I would freeze up out of nervousness. This is my casual. Fair enough. Guess that's what happened when you're raised well. I like it though. There's a very regal feel about it. I don't think my upbringing is the only factor. Ah. But you know, upbringing is important. With a whole lot of more than money, I'd say. Rose, thank you, Maria. You were so compassionate. You betcha. They don't call me the Virgin Mary for nothing. I practically bleed compassion. Ah, you know, that might be true. You very well could be the reincarnation of the Mother of God. No. You were supposed to laugh at that. It's just embarrassing if you take that seriously. Alone in the white-haired girl's room, Maria was acting much more friendly and relaxed as they conversed. Suppose her nonsense attitude in the hallway? Oh, no nonsense, okay. These two women were, as you can see, quite close. They had crossed over the wall, separating master from servant, and built a bond of friendship. And at some point, they had begun to speak frankly with one another when no one else was around. Maria was the only person in the mansion around whom the white-haired girl felt comfortable being open to. I imagine she very much enjoyed this moments of conversation. You wish to know who the head maid was? My. Are you sure you want to ask me that, master? No questions are better left unasked. For your own good. Okay, now you're just making me curious, girl. I have to say, madam, you have the prettiest fingers. Mine are rough and dry and nasty. You think so? I haven't the slightest bit of muscle. They're about as frail as dead branches. Oh, you need biffy mitts anyway. I don't think healthy-looking hands like yours are far more attractive. What? What's you like about this old thing? Women all over the world dream of having hands like yours, dearie. Slender, feminine, and perfectly cared for. I don't know, just looking at them light a fire in my loins. Makes me want to lick every last one of them. Okay, this got awkward. Actually, say, can I lick him? Never mind. Now it's even more awkward. Can I run my tongue up and down all 10 of those sweet little digits? Okay, Maria, you can stop talking. Come on, can I? What do you say? Stop that, Maria. Seriously. I'm kidding. I'm just kidding. Oh, Maria. Ah, right. How did those tea leaves turn out, madam? The ones you imported. All the maids just adore it. You can't get enough of that aroma. I should like to get a taste of it. If you end up with extras, you think you could spare a sip for me? That was what was in the cups I dropped. What? Really? Well, ain't that a crying shame? And Jacopo wouldn't have any of it? God, why does that man have such a stick up his ass? You went through all the trouble of making it for him and... He was busy. Not his fault. Busy? You mean playing billiards, drinking bourbon, and puffing a damn cigar? You may look to us like they're just making small talk, but I'm certain their meeting has some importance to their business. In fact, it did. It It was imprudent of me to try to step into the men's world. I don't agree with that, but then again, there is a time period, so I guess. That's just not right. I mean, you're his wife, for goodness sake. Why shouldn't you be allowed into that room? It doesn't bother me. You don't have to pretend. Here's an idea. How would you like to have some of that tea now? We also have some orange marmalade, which you like so much, and a scoop of that and a tray of cookies, and we have the perfect tea time. You're singing the siren song, madam, but you really should be doing that with him. He would not have tea. In fact, he does not. Yeah. I don't want it to go to waste, so... Madam, I know it's none of my business, and I have no place at all saying this, but hear me out. It's not impossible for a woman to file a divorce these days, you know? You don't have to sit down and take it. Not one bit. You're pretty, well educated, and still young. There's hope, even if you do leave him. There are plenty of other men out there. You aren't obligated to stick with that arrogant jerk. Just very busy right now. There you go again. There was a time when he was kind. It wasn't like this when we first met. Back then, it was a little awkward, but a kind man. And a kind man. Please, dear, tell me something new. Yeah, I believe it. Yeah, believe it or not, there was indeed a time. Hey, Maria, would you mind giving me a little bit more of your time? I'll make some tea, and we can talk. Alright, if you're telling me about when Jacopo was decent, I'm all ears. Indeed. Are we gonna have a flashback? Ooh, that is such a beautiful shot. As I'm sure you're aware, our parents arranged our marriage. I see. Arranged marriage. That makes some sense here. Before I emigrated to this country to be married, I lived in a misty island nation. Portraits of my ancestors hung in the house where I lived. I remember as a child wincing in fear at the sight of them staring down at me. My mother and father were constantly telling me to show them respect, as it was their hard work that kept our bloodline alive and well. However, they were fighting an uphill battle to do the same. It would have been clear to anyone reasonably perceptive their house was coming tumbling down. Valuable furniture and painting slowly disappeared, and eventually the portraits were gone too. As our house collapsed, so too did my parents' health deteriorate, robbing us of any source of income. And though I was educated, I lacked the skills necessary to obtain work. Just as we were about to run out of money and options, my parents received Jacopo's parents' marriage proposal. Both of our families stood to benefit from the arrangement. I had social status, and he had wealth. We each had what the other lacked. One needs more than money to make it in the world, without at least a semi-reputable name attached to you. You're liable to get laughed at most social gathering. I first met Jacopo here, this country. We didn't even know what the other looked like until our wedding day. To be quite honest, I was scared to death at first. I was so nervous. What kind of man would he be? Was I to be wed to some middle-aged stranger? We were not marrying because we had fallen in love like a normal couple. I knew I was in no position to be concerned with such things, but when I thought about our future, I shook in fear. But the man I saw through my veil at the wedding was remarkable. He was young, had strong, masculine eyes, and at the same time, he too appeared nervous. Hmm? He was shaking as much, no, even more than me. Seeing that, the priest gave an impish little smirk, and he asked Jacopo if he vowed his eternal love to me. I counted myself among the happy, and I still do. For in that moment, I experienced love. You wanted to hear about when he was kind to me? Well, after the wedding, we were given a week to ourselves. You know, normally that's called a honeymoon. I suppose you could call it a honeymoon. You know what? I should stop commenting and just read what's written. Though we didn't take a trip overseas, or even go very far at all. He looked at me with uncertainty and asked, what did he ask? Where would you like to go? I beg your pardon? That's what this week is for, right? I'll consider granting your request, so tell me where you want to go. Um, I, um, this is all so sudden. Hmm, nothing. Well, this whole engagement was spur of the moment. Normally, we would have planned a trip in advance, but unfortunately, our purpose is served as long as we act that part. You must be disappointed that you have to plan your honeymoon as it is happening. No, what? Speak clearly. I don't like it when people don't speak their mind. Sorry, but I'm happy. Even if this is a political marriage. Well, you're quite the positive thinker. Your parents say something to make you think that way? I, well, either way, we're so glad to be in this arrangement. Then hurry up and decide on a destination. Though there's a limit to how far we can go. Okay, this is so confusing because he's being both nice and demanding at the same time. Because he's giving her the option of picking where they go, but at the same time, he's rushing her and everything. You want to take a trip? I'll consider it. And there's also the whole thing of considering, not outright accepting it. What? Something funny. This just seemed comical to me that our honeymoon has begun, and we're only now deciding where we want to go. Not in a bad way, though. I'm glad our parents didn't arrange everything for us. Hmm. Perhaps you've heard, but I'm quite sensitive to sunlight and not in the best of health. So it would be rather trying for me to spend a full week out of the house. We couldn't go on a trip, but if it's too much trouble, speak up. Could you show me around town? I'm new to this country and unfamiliar with its customs, and I'm rather afraid to go wandering about on my own. show you around. Yes. Would that be possible? Hmm. On a rare bit of time off, you ask me to show you around town? Is that really the most exciting idea you have? Uh, Sorry. There's somewhere you would like to go. Fine with that. I will accompany you anywhere. As if I could drag someone who just professed to be sickly all over the country. My God, I lost all interest in the trip. Hmm. Hello? What are you doing? Go get ready now. I beg your pardon? Didn't you want to see the town? You will show me around? You're the one who asked. Not like I have any other option, so yeah, I'll show you around. Uh, Thank you. Don't just stand there, you dullard. Gotta move on. Uh, uh, One moment. Wait for me, please. Hmm. Yeah, I don't know if I would call this him being kind or not. It's a bit of a mixed message. He hurriedly climbed into the carriage he had called for, a look of frustrated displeasure on his face. Yeah, displeasure. Yeah, I don't think he's being nice. Like he said, he doesn't have much of a choice. And then, as if he had forgot about me until that moment, he returned, grabbed me by the arm, and led me to the carriage. In retrospect, I realized he was not being very gentlemanly, but I was pleased that he was making any attempt to interact with me at all. You know, um, as different as it is from today, where he just completely ignores my existence. As the carriage trotted down the streets, I saw so many new things. I had spent most of my time cooped up inside a home, so it was like stepping to an entirely new world. And add to that the rapid industrial advancement currently taking place. Some men shouting back and forth as they smacked newspaper articles with the back of their hand. I saw corner cafes crowded with cigar-smoking men on break from work. It was like the hustle and bustle of a festival, but every festival has its underside. I also saw overworked men, looking like they were on the verge of collapse, drinking water from a spigot on the side of the road. Why want to know what a spigot is? In way of contrast, I wore fine clothing and had a carriage at my disposal. I imagined every day was a struggle for them just to remain afloat. Had I not married the man I had, I too might have found myself on the streets in a similar position. But it was not relief that spread through my breast at the sight of them. It was pangs of guilt. It felt to me like a life of opulence was wrong, sinful even. It broke my heart to know that I was living so much better than them. Jacopo snorted disapprovingly at me, reading my mind, then said, "The poor man who envies the rich, covets his wealth, and finds ambition to make the same for himself, and the rich man who pities the poor, thinking it his duty to give them offerings of philanthropy. To me, the latter is far more nefarious. Excessive charity will ruin a man, make him come to expect handouts. True, fair. And then there are those with the wrong idea of pity, who let themselves fall to the same place, mistakenly believing it will somehow make the poor feel better. What a joke. If you're gonna do anything for them, you might as well encourage them to climb upwards, or on economic growth, in the flow of capital. It's that whole thing, give a man a fish, and he'll be fed for a day. Teach a man how to fish, and he will be fed for the rest of his life. Doesn't that sound like the better option? I, I say nothing, simply smiling and giving an ambiguous nod. He had a point. My sympathy and guilt meant nothing to people actually experiencing hardship. If feeling guilty of my own fortune, I act upon that pity in the way he had described, it would accomplish little toward than self-satisfaction. He seemed to have seen straight through my very core. This was a man who had built his own fortune through investment, which I imagine required him to be rather astute. But does a world where everyone is constantly trying to climb higher and higher sound rather exhausting? I personally would prefer to be in a position where I could watch, if only from a distance, as other climbs. But obviously, cannot cannot say as much of him. Sometime later, the carriage came to stop in front of a shop. As I looked at the building perplexedly, something as I looked at the building he gestured to the door with his chin, signaling me for me to get out. Lots lost and confused, stepped down from the carriage, and before me spread a showcase behind a large glass window. However, lined up in the case were not precious metal or expensive clothing, but machines. At first, I had no idea what kind of device they were. Have you ever had your photo taken before? I have had a portrait painted though. Are these machines for taking photographs? I don't know why I tried to pronounce it like that. A portrait, huh? Why am I not surprised? I did not mean to boast. Go on, get in. Uh, Please, wait, wait for me. The owner came to meet us with a wide smile as we entered the shop. Well, if this ain't the strangest thing I've seen all day. You bringing a lady, and a real looker at that. Where on earth you catch this pretty little thing? She's my wife. Ah, well, well, I beg your pardon. I'll be a monkey's uncle. Just goes to show you, you never know where the cards will be. You make it sound like my getting married is some kind of miracle. I always saw you as one choose money over love, sir. And you're right. Oh, pardon me. Isn't it appropriate to stay in front of your wife? Uh, uh, do you often come to this? On occasion. I need to see some things from here from time to time. There you go, smirking. What's so funny? Well, we're going to have our photo taken, yes? I'm so nervous and excited. Never had one before. And to have taken side by side with you. What are you talking? Pardon? Who said we were getting our pictures taken? And side by side? Please. You're sending shivers down my spine. But, but this is a photography shop. Hey, shopkeep. The product I contacted you about. Is it ready? Oh, yup. Sit tight. I'll be right out. Hmm? You take a seat. There's a chair over there. What? Going to show you something much more exciting than sitting still and waiting in front of a camera lens. Oh? Just do as I say. Chop chop. Okay. I sat down in front of a large mirror, which I presume was normally used to check your appearance and before having your picture taken. Sitting before a mirror with someone else present was quite nerve-wracking. Out of embarrassment, I dropped my gaze to my knees. But when Jacopo returned, I was entranced by the curious object in his hands. Oh, look at that. What is this? Do you know what persistence of vision is? Hmm? The human eye does not perceive the world 100% accurately. This is especially true for objects in motion. It remembers images for a short time, so if you put a new image in the same place, your eyes perceive it as in motion. Seeing it for yourself would be faster than explaining it. You see the slits in the disc? Look through the bottom one and into the mirror. Okay. Good. Just like that. Bring your head in close. Here goes. Standing behind me, he slid his fingers across the top of the peculiar toy, causing it to spin gracefully. And then, oh, look at that. This very much reminds me of Tarzan. Ah, so, what do you see? You're dancing. Man and a woman are dancing. Sounds like you're not having any trouble seeing it. Are they dancing well? Yes, yes they are. The most adorable thing. What? Adorable? That's funny. I asked to have a model after ballroom dance. Yes, it's very elegant dance. But you see, you're small, like little dwarfs, which I thought was kind of cute. And they seem so close, going around and around, however letting go of each other's hand. This is incredible. Why does it look like they're dancing? They were all lined up in a row a few moments ago. Goodness, I just explained that sheet. It's a playing a trick on your eyes. What you're seeing is lots of different pictures in a short period of time. Put it in words, you might understand better. It's an illusion. Your eyes are being fooled into believing the image is her moving. An illusion. But they're dancing. They really are. And they look like they're having a wonderful time. Are you sure it's an illusion, not something else? To me, it does not seem to be. I cannot see it as anything but two tiny people dancing. That's how it works. Reach out your hand and try to grab them. You won't be able to. Ah, you're right. That's a shame. I didn't think you actually would. But it's the most precious thing. They look as though they're dancing atop of my palm. I was mesmerized by the strange phenomenon. Pictures were moving, after all, just like in Harry Potter. Still, images has begun dancing before me. It was almost as if God had breathed life into them. He had called it an illusion, but I could not grasp that. It was such an adorable, heartwarming sight. I imagined that you were off living some other world, separate from our own. He looked so happy. Was as I was almost certain that they were off dancing in their joyous world, free from all the sorrows and loneliness and pain of this one. Eventually, the speed at which they danced began to slow, as if they were resting their legs. I almost thought I could hear the sound of their feet each step. And there we go again. They stopped. They can dance forever. They don't get tired. I see. Amazed that such incredible device exists in the world. Hmm. I wish I had gone outside sooner. I'm sure someone from as distinguished a family as yours had been plenty of amazing things within your family. Not really, actually. Hardly. I rarely even left the house. I'm ignorant about the ways of the world. If you had not told me, I would have probably never known about moving pictures. The illusion of film movement. Do you like it? Yes, of course. Yes, I do. Oh, hold up. No, hold up. Do you like it? Yes, of course. More than the portraits you have painted. Y- Yes, yes, I do. The painting was wonderful too, but you can't seem to make up your mind. Go on, tell me. Which one do you like better? The portrait or this? Uh, um, this better. I see. He looks somewhat pleased. Hmm. So when it comes down to it, this is a simple trick only a child will fall for. Then I suppose that makes me a child. It means I get to watch something as splendid as two tiny people dancing. I'll happily fall for that trick. We're describing it as a two tiny people dancing. You're going to lose your head that far up in the clouds. Uh, Um, sorry. I do not know how else to describe it though. It's a toy called a phenakistoscope. Phenakisto something? Phenakistoscope. Phenakis wheel. Close enough. It was invented around 30 years ago. I had the shop keep making one model after the original design. So the shop owner does this? He did. He did. And a lot better than you'd expect, isn't he? Yes, indeed. I'm surprised you could draw something so cute. Say that to his face and he'll go red as a beet. Say, th- yeah, what I'd give to get a load of that. You should tell him next time you see him. Hmm? He's a sweet man. despite how he looks. It's not right to judge people based on their appearance, you know? I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Just kidding. Don't take it too seriously. The shopkeeper here loves new technology. That phenactoscope is one such invention that caught his eyes. You can trick the eyes into thinking of drawing or moving. Using a sequence of photos, you can perhaps make it seem as though real people are moving too. If it becomes possible to show their image to many people at once, these developments should broaden the option artists have to express themselves. Not drawing, but photographs? Yes, photos. By taking hundreds, or perhaps thousands of photographs, it would be possible to reproduce the world as we see it. This room, people walking down the street. There's no point in recording boring, everyday life, though. If we're gonna leave a record of anything behind, it should be the projects and enterprises that move nations. Say, for example, a moving record of the opening ceremony of the railroad. That would be something watching. And then in time would explain beyond the mere record keeping technology and find its way into Ben Hilarious. That's such a thing. Must remain still for a long time just to take a single photograph. Right now, it is. But eventually, it will be. And I'm not simply fantasizing here. That's so. Sounds so very futuristic. Do you? What? Do you want to support people who work on that sort of thing? Is that why you're friends with the owner? It has nothing to do with my wants. I merely think there's money in it. The rich starve for entertainment, and the artists create that entertainment. I have no interest in the pretentious self-expression. I just want their money. What, what's so funny? You look like you're enjoying yourself. Honestly, just about the money. As you say. Alright, let's get moving. Next is dinner. But I think we're gonna leave dinner for another day. So we found out that the silver-haired girl has an ally, Maria, one of the maids. And that's really being her anchor here, because suffering in this household with both that supposed husband and even all the other servants harassing her, yeah, that's gotta be rough. But now we're seeing a story of back in the day when they first met. And according to her, is when he was being kind. But a lot of this, I wouldn't really place it as kindness. But hey, I guess she just has a different view of the world. Well, that's it. That's all. So with that being said, see you next time. Bye.